Unless you've been living under a rock, Chase Elliott is your 2020 Cup Series champion. He enters this season as your defending champion. He also becomes the first driver since Jimmy Johnson to win a championship within his first 5 full-time seasons. As a matter of fact, Chase Elliott and Jimmy Johnson, they both won their first championship in their 5th full-time season. So, of course, with the passing of the torch narrative and how Chase Elliott is the future of Hendrick, this only adds fuel to that narrative. This only fuels it. But I don't want to go on that tangent. Today I want to discuss Chase Elliott's career up to this point, and how his career projection goes into. And more interestingly, I also want to discuss if he can actually become the first driver in the NASCAR elimination style playoff format to go back to back. Because with the elimination style playoff format, it is pretty hard to go back to back, but I believe there's actually a pretty good argument to be had with Chase Elliott, because I mean, looking at the competition, of course the 2021 season in my opinion is pretty competitive, and of course with the changes in NASCAR made to the schedule, specifically adding road courses, which are of course Chase Elliott is a road course king, and NASCAR is going to be racing at 7 of them next season. I expect Chase Elliott to have the best season ever. Many people expect that as well, so I just want to see if all this works out in Chase Elliott's favor for him to beat the odds and become the first driver to go back to back on this elimination style playoff format. Can he do it? Well, we're going to discuss that. So for starters, in his first 2 seasons, Chase Elliott was a very consistent driver, but he just could not get the job done for one reason or another. Eventually in 2018 he won at Watkins Glen, and then he won 2 more races in the playoffs, and that was his breakout season. Then in 2019 was more of the same. However, he had a disastrous ending to the season, 3 consecutive DNFs in the round of 8, and many people thought entering 2020 that Chase Elliott's struggles from 2019 will bleed into 2020, which is why a lot of people didn't expect much from Chase Elliott. They expected a carbon copy of 2019. Elliott having good stretches sometime during the season, Elliott having a slow start to the season, then he turns it up in the summer, and then in the playoffs he has a good round of 16, a round of 12, but when the round of 8 comes around, he's just not good enough to make it to the championship 4. That's what many people thought, myself included, of course. But man, that season Chase Elliott proved a lot of people wrong. That season Chase Elliott proved a lot of people wrong. In the playoffs, of course, because in the regular season was pretty much typical Chase Elliott. 2 wins, a handful of good runs here and there, a few wins that he just threw away for one reason or another. You know, the playoffs, the regular season was whatever, but in the playoffs Chase Elliott just turned it up, and it was just really refreshing to see Chase Elliott finally realizing his full potential that many fans have always wanted him to, have always imagined that he will fulfill. Because of course, when you are the son of a NASCAR legend, there are gonna be many high expectations for you. Chase Elliott has quite fulfilled them. And speaking of his father, Awesome Bill Elliott, I want to compare Chase Elliott's career to that of his father, because my prediction of Chase Elliott, or my career projection of him, has changed drastically, especially now that he is now a Cup champion at just age 25, at his 5th full-time season. My prediction of him has changed drastically. So when I first made my prediction of Chase Elliott, of how his career will go, I thought back in 2016 I thought that Chase Elliott will win 5 more races than Bill Elliott, like around 40 or so races. and he will also be a two-time champion. Bill Elliott only won one championship. I thought Chase Elliott would win two championships. And of course, the main reason, of course, being that I thought that Chase Elliott was going to, since Chase Elliott started his career at such a young age, at such a younger age than his father, Chase Elliott started his full-time NASCAR Cup career at age 20. I thought that he was going to have a longer career, a much longer prime, of course, and that will lead to him to have more chances to win championships than his father did. And that of course, that prediction just changes now, because Chase Elliott is a Cup Series champion at just age 25 in just his 5th full-time season, which means that he hasn't entered the prime of his career yet. So he's not in his prime, and he's already a Cup champion. I think Chase Elliott can go for 3 championships now, and he can win. He can reach the 50-win mark. I believe it's possible. 3-time champion, 50-win mark. I believe Chase Elliott can do it. I believe now that he has peaked so early, he won a championship at such an early age. I believe that him being a 2-time champion is all but a guarantee. But I also think that he can shoot for 3 and a few more wins. And I believe he can go for 40 wins for sure, with a chance to get to 50. So that's how my prediction for Chase Elliott goes right now. That's how my career projection goes for him. I hadn't won in 2 championships before, but now that he won in 2020, I believe he can win 3 championships. And as for wins, I hadn't won in 40 back in 2016, but now, once again, now that he has won a championship, I believe that's gonna give him a huge momentum boost, and that's gonna lead to him winning a few more races. Maybe he has a chance to win to reach that 50-win mark. So yeah, I think the future is looking bright for Chase Elliott. I think the sky's the limit for him, and I'm very proud of him, because him being the most popular driver, when the most popular driver wins a championship, it's a good day for NASCAR. Everyone wins when the golden boy wins. That's all I'm saying. As for this coming season, however, the 2021 NASCAR Cup Series, I'm gonna be honest, I am really hyped for this season. This season is gonna be, in my opinion, one of the more competitive NASCAR seasons overall. Not only in the championship wise, but also playoffs wise. It's gonna be pretty fun, especially with all the schedule changes that NASCAR made. They're gonna be running on 7 road courses this season. And I want to emphasize the part of the 7 road courses, because this is a video about Chase Elliott, and again, Chase Elliott is the new road course king, so of course, these changes are going to benefit him greatly. Racing in a lot of road courses is going to benefit Chase Elliott greatly. Now, do I think that Chase Elliott will win all 7 of them? Of course not. But I will be surprised if he doesn't win in at least 3 or 4 of them. If he doesn't do that, I'm gonna be greatly surprised, because this schedule is almost tailored for Chase Elliott to have his breakthrough season, like his best season ever, whether he wins a championship or not. And speaking of winning a championship, I believe Chase Elliott has a very good chance to go back to back, to go back to back in 2021. Because when you look at his main competitors, in my opinion, those guys are Denny Hamlin, Harvick is gonna be there, Kyle Busch is looking to bounce back, the Penske guys, Keselowski and Logano, they are always threats come playoff time. And you got a few dark horses there. Martin Truex Jr. I don't consider Truex a favorite. At this point in his career, I consider him a dark horse. I believe he can make it to the round of 8, but I believe his championship 4 years are over. At least his championship can 10 years, because he can make it to the championship 4, but it's gonna take a miracle for Truex to win at this point in his career. I believe his prime is over. He has a few good seasons left in tank, but I don't think he's gonna win another championship. Same goes for Kurt Busch. Alex Bowman is also expected to have. I also expect him to have a breakout season, but I don't think it's going to. I don't think it's gonna make a championship 4. Kyle Larson, he's a big question mark. He can do really good, or he can just do really bad. Because I mean, he spent an entire year off of stock cars, so he may be a bit rusty. So we have to take that into consideration. There's also Ryan Blaney, of course, and maybe, just maybe, Christopher Bell, but I'm kind of reaching there. I gotta see it to believe it. Who knows? Maybe Christopher Bell can surprise a lot of people, but I just don't see it. I just don't see it happening. I gotta see it to believe it. So I'm gonna be focusing on the main 5 guys, because those are the guys that Chase Elliott is gonna be competing with week in and week out. First of all, Kyle Busch, he's expected to have a bounce back season. And to be honest, I do see Kyle Busch making it to the championship 4, but I do not see it winning. And here is why. He no longer has Adam Stevens. Now, of course, back last year, I said that Truex was not going to be the same driver because he no longer has Cole Pearn. When it comes to Kyle Busch has actually had a few good seasons. Unlike Truex, Kyle Busch has actually proven to have a few good seasons without Adam Stevens. You look at 2008, at least the first 22 races. Then when the playoffs happened, that team fell apart. But for the first 22 races, Kyle Busch was just flawless in 2008. And also 2013, that was actually, in my opinion, 2013 was the best Kyle Busch season before Adam Stevens. He was actually the third or fourth best driver behind Johnson, Kenseth, and Harvick that season. Maybe we can throw in Junior, but Junior didn't win any races that year, so I'm gonna say Kyle Busch was the 4th best driver in 2013. So yeah, unlike Truex, Kyle has proven that he can actually win, that he can actually have a few good seasons and actually be a contender without his best crew chief. So I'm willing to give him more of a chance than Truex to make it to the championship 4. And I actually believe he can be competitive, but ultimately I think Ben Beshore is just not as good as Adam Stevens. Of course, I have to see how good he is first, but as of right now, as of the making of this video, I don't see Kyle Busch winning it. Keselowski and Logano, they are kind of in the same boat as Kyle Busch, though not really. In the sense of, you know how Keselowski and Logano are going to be. They are going to have a few good runs in the regular season, but for the most part, they're going to be coasting. Then when the playoffs come around, Keselowski might struggle a bit, but he's going to figure it out. Logano will turn it up, of course, as he always does. And both of the Penske drivers, if not both of them, at least one of them can make it to the championship 4. They are pretty capable. Team Penske is pretty capable of putting one, if not both, of Keselowski and Logano into the championship 4. However, once they're there, they may actually get the job done. So they may actually be guys to watch for next season. I'm not gonna say that they are the biggest threats to Chase Elliott, however, because Team Penske is not. They don't have the equipment to compete with Joe Gibbs or Stewart Haas or Hendrick. In my opinion, they are like the 3rd or 4th best team in NASCAR right now, behind Stewart Haas, Joe Gibbs, and maybe Hendrick, because Hendrick is on the rise. Many people forget that Hendrick used to be a powerhouse team. I think Hendrick is going to go back to be a top 3 team next season. I think they're gonna take that title away from Team Penske. So, and of course, I believe that Elliott is already on the level of both Keselowski and Logano. So, when 2 drivers of the same talent level face off, the equipment, in that case, the equipment will always win. And the 9, in my opinion, is better than the 2 and the 22, just barely, but it's better. So I believe Chase Elliott can outrun them, especially after what he did at both Martinsville and Phoenix last season to close out the championship. I believe Chase Elliott can repeat. I believe Chase Elliott can contend with both Logano and Keselowski, and I believe he can beat them. Of course, there are going to be times where both of them get the better of him, but you know what it is. Elliott is already mature enough. He's already a full-fledged driver. He can hold him off. He's going to be fine. As for Kevin Harvick and Denny Hamlin, it doesn't take any rocket science to tell you that they are not going to win 9 and 7 races this season. They're not going to repeat that performance they did in 2020, especially since they didn't win the championship. And if you don't win the championship, what do? You go back to the drawing board. Kevin Harvick and Denny Hamlin had, in my opinion, the best seasons of their careers, and they still couldn't get the job done. I believe they're going to go back to the drawing board. And of course, with the addition of practice and qualifying back, because that's the thing. 2020 was a really weird season in which there was no practice and no qualifying. And of course, Hamlin and Harvick, they took advantage of that, and that's why they ended up winning. They ended up winning as many races as they did. So of course, for neither of them to win the championship is pretty shocking. But now, and of course, now that practice and qualifying is going to be back in some capacity for 2021, I don't see Harvick and Hamlin having that competitive edge that they had in 2020. They're still going to win races. As a matter of fact, I got them winning about 4 or 5 of them. And of course, they're still going to be around for the championship 4. But I don't think they're going to repeat that. They're not going to repeat their 2020 performance. And that, of course, works huge in Chase Elliott's favor. Because after having a great season like you had, not win the championship, that's going to work against you momentum-wise. So like Kevin Harvick and Denny Hamlin are trending downwards in momentum, and Chase Elliott having won the championship that he wasn't the favorite to win, of course it's going to work a lot in his favor. That and the fact that the 2021 schedule has a lot of road courses, and Chase Elliott does really well at road courses. He is the best driver right now that can go around those type of tracks. I believe there is a very compelling argument for Chase Elliott to go back to back. So for the question that can Chase Elliott go back to back, as of right now, I'm gonna say yes. There's a pretty good argument to be had that Chase Elliott can go back to back for 2021, because when you consider the fact that he has all the momentum, he's entering 2021 as a defending champion. He has all the momentum. Hendrick Motorsports is on the rise. He's also gonna be Chevrolet's best driver. And also, I didn't mention this, the fact that Hendrick and RCR are finally going to combine their Chevrolet operations. I never really understood why they did it earlier. It was kind of awkward for me to see, like, oh, this is a Hendrick powered Chevrolet and this is an RCR powered Chevrolet. Why don't they work together like Roush and Yates did? It would have been so much better, and this basically could have allowed Chevrolet to actually figure out the Camaro way faster. I didn't know why they did it earlier. So this is an amazing move. They have Hendrick Motorsports on the rise. Chevrolet is going to be consolidating their operations. And of course, the 2021 schedule is working huge on his favor with the new additions, specifically on the road course side of things. And also the fact that his main competitors, Keselowski and Logano, in my opinion, don't have enough to beat Chase Elliott. Kevin Harvick and Denny Hamlin are not going to break out, are not going to win 9 or 7 races each. And Kyle Busch still has a few things to figure out with his crew chief, Ben Beshore. As of right now, I'm gonna say yes, Chase Elliott will go back to back. Unless something drastic happens, my prediction is Chase Elliott is your 2021 Cup Series champion.